Organizations advocating the rights of children on the continent appealed to governments to formulate policies that protect and ensure the welfare of children. Now, this follows the launching of the report on the plight of children conducted by the African Committee of Experts on the Rights and Welfare of Children in Ethiopia. Now, this committee is the arm of the African Union that conducted a study focusing on children without parental care on the continent. Let's now speak to our reporter in Addis Ababa, Ditaba Tsotetsi, who joins us live now. Ditaba, certainly it's a big talking point, especially when you think about conflict, when you think about all these things that happen, especially around children and their safety and how some of them are finding themselves vulnerable. Let's talk about the proceedings today and how significant this report is.
Well, Bogi, that is true. A very important moment here at the Ethiopian, at the African Union headquarters in Ethiopia, here in Addis Ababa. The report today, or the official launch, was launched by the president of Ethiopia, Sale Walker Zwide. She says that this report is very, very important because it will give governments an indication on what policies they should formulate in advocating the rights of the children. We know that in Africa, many children are facing a myriad of challenges. Armed conflicts, violence, various forms of abuse against the children. So she says that this report is very, very important. We know that even here in Ethiopia, we saw in the streets that many children are fending for themselves, and the report, the focus was on the children that are without parental care. But for more Bongi on this, we are now joined by the president of SOS, Dr. Dereje Wordofa. Doctor, thank you very much for your time. The significance of this report.
Thank you. As you said, this report, Children Without Parental Care in Africa, is an important report, which was which is being owned by the Africa Committee of Experts in the Rights and the Welfare of the Child. And they laid the process of getting this report from collection of data, analysis, and presentation of this report today for its launch. And the president of Ethiopia, Sahle Worke, she launched it and emphasized the importance of this report. This report has two very significant messages. The first is more than 35 million children today do not have parental care. They are exposed for various vulnerable conditions. They are on the street. They are exposed to child trafficking, early marriages, and some of them are sexually abused, boys and girls. This has to change. And the second important message is 70% of the African government's policy or normative work doesn't recognize these target groups, children without parental care or at risk of losing such care. And there is a lot of work to bring the data points and incorporating these children who are today invisible in the normative work, in the programmatic response, in the national budget. If we take care of these children, we will be able to give them a secure and safe and nurturing environment, and they could become a very active citizens in their own country. Without investment in them, without attention to them, these children would be very much vulnerable and become also burden to their communities and societies, and they could be affected by various challenges that will come in their life. Therefore, the African governments and civil society organizations and communities coming together, paying attention to this target group is very important. Our role at Save the SOS Children Village International is to really support the Africa Committee of Experts, and together with other organizations like the Africa Policy Forum. It is a Pan-African organization working on normative projects, and also UNICEF participated, and civil society organizations from different African countries united together also backed this. Importantly, children and young people have also participated in providing information about the kind of challenges they face on a day-to-day basis.
But Doctor, this is not the first report that was released or the study that was conducted by this committee. How is it going to be different to this one? I mean, how this one is going to be different to other reports?
This report is groundbreaking. It is the first not only in Africa and globally because it focuses on children without parental care or at risk of losing parental care. So it gives data analysis and pulling out the state of challenges that these children face in a very powerful way. So it is a very unique report. Of course, there are reporters that talk about generally how children are vulnerable in the African continent because of ongoing armed conflict, because of hunger and some poverty issues induced by climate change and HIV and a number of other factors that makes communities and families fragile. And this report pays significant attention to this target group of children without parental care because they are the most vulnerable, because they don't have adult in their life to guide them, to support them, to nurture them, and to become a young person that would be able to achieve her or his dream.
Thank you very much for your time, Doctor. There you have it, Bongi. Many organizations here supporting the rights of the children are also having a call that our governments should formulate policies that really support the plight of the children. We are told that in DRC alone, more than 2 million children are without parental care. You can imagine it is just a high number in only one country. This is the situation here, Bongi. So hopefully this report will bring changes because this is not the first report that was conducted by this committee. So hopefully this report will bring change to the plight of children in Africa.